No, I never got. I didn't see you after yesterday. You were fucking tremendous. Just fucking tremendous.
I didn't know any clothes on the town.
You did it. You did it. I mean, you know, you are the man.
Yeah.
What? What?
So I may have to bump it off the table, but you know, because it's up here.
Well, all right. All right.
I'm just counting. Wait a minute. Okay, I'll sit next to you. I want you to sit on me. I'll sit down here.
About 60 miles.
We're gonna call it.
What is it called, Steve?
That would be good. I like that. I like that. Really, seriously. Yeah, don't fall, please,
It'll be a
God.
first in Oxford House history.
Jesus, please don't fall off this time.
What the? Broch hatar an oil hand melech along motzi lechem min aror. Sorry, breaking bread. There she is. I made it. Hold on, Brandy. Hold on, Brandy. Brandy, hold on. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I come down there.
Hey, Jason. I'm gonna try to get a picture with you.
Hi. 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 Come on. He took himself on
Hey, where'd Rick go? Yeah, come on up. Banquet. Here. You're in the middle. That was it?
Will you take one on my phone?
On our phone.
Yeah.
On our phone?
A big hour. A big
Come
hour.
on up here then.
Just like yeah. All right, we gotta get.
All right, we need everybody to make their way into the room and find a table, find a chair. We do need to get seated so that we can get started and have food served. So make your way to a table and to a chair, please, as quickly as you can. And let's not forget that we have tables in the front over on this side. Some of you may have to walk over to this side to find a table that has multiple chairs.
Marcus. No, Marcus is there. No. Okay. If you will please make your way to your seat. Individuals that have come in need to take their seat so we can get started. If you're saving a seat, those individuals might be in overflow. So unfortunately, if they're not in here, they won't be sitting with us.
Good evening, everyone. Let's come in and get in your seat and settle down a little bit. There's seats all over. Hello, everyone. I'm Kathleen Gibson, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. We want to go ahead and we're going to have Steve Poland, who's our general counsel. He's going to come up here, and he's going to help us get the evening started. Oh, it's all you.
It's all me.
Yeah, watch. I don't think that's attached in.
No, it's not.
Get him under control.
Hello, everybody. Everybody all situated? We got a evening of awards to give out, and we have a great meal. And before we get going, I'd like to say just a real short blessing to get us in the right mood. So if we can all have your attention. And everybody gets seated. I can't see. These lights are just bright as hell. Okay. So,
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Can I please have your attention? Can everyone stop talking just for a brief moment? Mr. Malloy would definitely want us to get this night started out the right direction.
okay, this is going to be short and sweet, and then we can break bread. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who brings forth bread from this earth. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Well done. They don't like to mess around.
told Bruce I thought he should do that. I hate to have empty seats.
So I just want to make a quick announcement. We have a bunch of open seats. If you've happened to been saving it for someone, unfortunately, we're going to send people in to take those empty seats. So people will start flowing in.
never really buy any t-shirts.
Good evening. My name's Jackson Long, and I'm in long-term recovery. As we're still getting some people with plated meals, and as we're in the middle of our dinner, I just want to remind everybody we do have kind of a long evening, and we are going to get started with the awards portion of the evening at around 7:30. So if you want to time a little break before that so that everybody can be back in and we can be respectful of those that are going to be receiving awards, we would greatly appreciate it. So I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up on the time that around 7:30 we're going to start with the awards portion of the show. So be mindful of that if you dip out for a minute, okay? Thank you. Enjoy the meal.
Yes, but you can't have breakfast.
are so inventive and creative and ingenious. And I think that when we use love and compassion as our guiding principles, we can create
everybody could come on in and settle down. I was sitting downstairs with somebody who's not from Oxford House, but who has done a ton of work with Oxford House, Adam Trosper. I know you're up here somewhere. There he is. And thank you. And he mentioned to me about, Ivory Wilson. We were talking about who's also up here somewhere. We have a few people that come from the states we work with. They take their time out of their busy schedules and they come and there you are. It's very bright lights. And we even have some people that used to work with us at the state that come, because when people are around Oxford House, they get to see what a miraculous thing all these folks in recovery are. And I'd like to say, yes, let's clap it. I'd like to say that it's just about Oxford House, and that's what brings us here. But really what it is just most people don't get to see all this recovery in one room, right? Especially if you work in the field. Sometimes you only get to see one or two people at a time. So seeing everybody is really beautiful. I know some of you are just getting your food, and I know that it's going to be hard not to make noise, a lot of noise, but as we start to give these awards, if you could settle down a little bit, that would be great. So anyway, when we were downstairs talking, they were saying that Saturday night is one of their favorite times because everybody's dressed up, we're happy, we know we're not going to be in a whole bunch of panels the rest of the night, we're going to dance, we're going to have a big raffle. You know, it takes a lot to put a convention on. We have more committees than I think we had chapters when I first came to Oxford House, just for the convention. And I just really want to thank Jackson, Longan, and Jason, and all the subcommittee chairs. You have no idea, we start planning these things 10 months out, and they meet constantly. So let's give them a big round of applause. The fundraising committee works for a long time to raise money, and then they have to be on the floor the whole time, so we really appreciate them. The traffic smoking committee, /security / we ask them to help us with anything that comes up committee. Thomas, your committee really has rocked it out this year, so thank you. We are definitely not an easy group to corral. It is like herding cats. I said the other day that we have 235 employees, and probably half the employees are in the overflow room so that there could be room for people that had never experienced a convention. But we really need to give those 235 employees a round of applause because although the houses and the chapters do a huge amount of work to get folks here, they light the fire. So I also want to thank on behalf of Leanne Tyler and myself, all the staff of Oxford House Incorporated, that just the main office that worked very hard to get everything here and get the IT set up. And so let's give them a round of applause as well. I have some friends that are here that are still a part of Oxford House that were here when I got here, and I just stopped by the table spells. Tony, you're here. Curtis is here. All guys. What is up with that? That just occurred to me. Julie. One of the things about looking back and being 28 years old and moving into an Oxford House that I was thinking about today in reflection is that I'm really glad that people gave me some grace because I made some mistakes and people really helped to support me and waited till I was ready to, really get embedded in my own program of recovery. And Dr. Covington today, that was a really wonderful talk. And I think I will most take away from that is when she told us all, instead of asking what's wrong with them, start asking what happened to them. And I think I will carry that with me for a long time. And I hope you do too. Because staff will often hear me say when problems come up, what is wrong with them? So we're going to get started with our awards. We do 3 awards, 3 different types of awards at the World Convention. We do the Reggie Midget Award. When Reggie Midget was an Oxford House outreach worker in the state of Missouri, he spent his free time getting an Oxford House established in his old hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sadly, Reggie was murdered in Kansas City in 1999. This award is given annually to the person or persons who best reflect Reggie's dedication to spreading the Oxford House movement to new geographic areas. The second award that we give is the Founders Award. Each year, the Founders Award is given to one or more individuals who have made a lasting contribution to the growth and success of Oxford House. And the third award we give is the Tom Fellows Award. Tom Fellows was a friend of Bill's, but was never a resident of an Oxford House. Nevertheless, Tom spent his last 8 years of life as an advocate of Oxford House and helped start a cluster of houses serving graduates of the Salvation Army Rehabilitation Facility in Maryland. When Tom died, his wife asked his friends to remember him with contributions to Oxford House. The annual Tom Fellows Award is given to an individual or individuals for outstanding service to the Oxford House, despite never having been an Oxford House resident. So these are the 3 awards that we give. They're very special and mean a lot to us. Absolutely. So with that, I would like Jackson and Lori to come up here because they are each giving a Reggie Midget Award tonight. Lori's down there. You want Lori to go first?
Good evening, everybody. The Reggie Midget Award is a very special award because it takes great sacrifice. The Reggie Midget Award takes great sacrifice, personal sacrifice. A lot of us that work for Oxford House, we give up a lot to try to help those in need, often living out of a duffel bag, using a vehicle as an office, and spending countless hours on the phone and computer trying to help with 100 different tasks in any given day. We can try to create a schedule, we can try to put things on the calendar, but oftentimes the phone will ring or an email will come in and the priorities of the day just changed because we try to help those that are around us. So this award is going to a very special individual who just says yes. It's that simple. He says yes every time he's asked to do something for Oxford House. Because yes saves lives. When we say yes, we get to be of service. And that's what he does. Many of us that work for Oxford House consider it a life vocation, consider it a passion. So it doesn't feel like work a lot of the time. And we go into our recovery meetings and we're told to be of service to our fellows, to God's children. And so when we clock in for work, we're just being of service. So sometimes it's hard to clock out. I don't think he ever clocks out. I think he just keeps working. He says yes every single time. And that means moving to a new state. That means taking on responsibilities of a state that he doesn't live in. Countless hours of just driving in the car hour after hour just to make it to the next town, just to help the next person make it another day in an Oxford house and get the tools to have the opportunity that we all have. So I would like to present the Reggie Midget Award for his resourcefulness, diligence, initiative, enthusiastic fostering of the mission of Oxford House, 2022 Oxford House Annual Convention, Seattle, Washington, to James Alston. Where's he at? I don't know. I don't see him. Where's he at? I'm blinded by the lights. Is he in? He's in the overflow room? Did he volunteer? Did he say yes to go into the overflow room? He said yes so a member could enjoy the main ballroom.
Is he on his way up here?
I hope the live feed is going through to the other room and he's on his way up here.
He's probably like, what?
Make way on the escalator. He's running up.
While we wait for him, should we give the other one?
Yeah. We'll present it as soon as he gets into the room. We're going to move on to the other. I probably should have pulled him aside and say no for once, dang it.
Lori Holtzclaw is going to give we're giving 2 Tom Fellows Awards this year. So Lori is giving our second one.
Reggie Midget.
Reggie Midget. I am so sorry. That threw me off a little bit. Here it comes.
Get up here, James.
That's got to be all-time great. Great. Woo! That will never be forgotten.
Thank you guys for so much. Oxford House saved my life, and I will always say yes and will be of service to Oxford House in whatever way I possibly can. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. My name's Lori, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. So, I don't have a profound speech like Jackson, but, and this gentleman is going to know exactly who he is whenever I say where he started at. So every now and then, you know, for the most part, whenever you meet someone from Oxford House, we're all very loud and vibrant, very charismatic for the most part. And then every now and then you have the ones that come in and they're so quiet you barely know they're there. But they quietly work and they quietly do a lot of service that really makes a huge impact wherever they are. And this young man moved into Oxford House a few years back. It's been more than a few years, but he moved into a state where there were no outreach workers. And maybe they've had some challenges over the last, 10 years or so. He comes straight out of prison, a very lengthy prison term. I would say about 8 years he did in prison, and he moved into an Oxford house. He was very young whenever all this happened, but he moved into an Oxford House Golden Eagle in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And from there, he started learning about Oxford House. He got involved very quickly and just really understood the model. And we asked him, whenever we hired him, to move to Louisiana, and he did. And then just a very short period of time later, we got a contract in Alabama, and we said, will you move to Alabama? And he did. And then a very short period after that, after he established several houses, we asked him to move to Florida, and he did. So he has moved all across the Gulf Coast states. He is an amazing example of what Oxford House can do for somebody that comes out of prison and really, really devotes their life to trying to help and save other people. So, Michael McKehoe. I love Michael.
You need to let me know how many houses we have in Florida.
Okay. We currently have, he might be in the overflow room too, but while we wait for him, we started opening Oxford houses in Florida about 4 years ago, and we currently have 106 houses in the state of Florida. Congratulations! My old gangster, my OG. You want to say anything? I know you're going to be nervous.
Thank you very much, Lori. Thank you, Oxford House. I can't put into words what I'm feeling right now. Oxford House Incorporated is an amazing organization, and they have truly changed my life. When I moved into Oxford House after doing 7.5 years in prison, there's no way I thought I'd be here today. Thank y'all so much. On Saturday before I came, I'm like, I'm going to go buy a new suit, and I'm glad I did.
Now, I've made it all weekend. I haven't gotten emotional, so I don't know what's wrong with me right now. My God. All right. So, this gentleman just really, I've had the opportunity to really watch him grow up in Oxford House. We have a really special connection because we share a clean date. Several years apart, but January 15th. I've seen him do some amazing work with so many people across the state of Washington. He's opened more houses than you can count, and he's really been a huge part of why there's so many houses in and around this area right here where we sit tonight. It's no easy thing to have a huge county with lots of houses, to be that core, that thing that kind of holds it together in many ways. I've seen him teach the model to other people. I've seen him mentor other people. I've seen him allow himself to be mentored by people, which is really, really important also as we stay in this journey. I've just blown away by all the great things he's done, especially the past few years, because we had a lot of sort of leadership changes going on in Washington State, and he stepped right up, and he's kept stepping up. He's one of the reasons we are having such a good time this weekend. With that, I would like Richard Mogul, Ricky, to come up. Okay. And we're only giving one Founders Award this year. You got to come over here. Oxford House Incorporated Founders Award presented to Richard Mogul for his dedication, wisdom, enthusiasm, and leadership in fostering a strong network of Washington Oxford houses, including the development of tribal Oxford houses. 2022 Oxford House Convention, Seattle, Washington.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I can remember last time I ugly cried. I just got to say thank you. I don't know, y'all my family, even the ones we haven't met, you know? God, I feel ugly cry. I almost did the circle game. I love you guys, and Oxford House has changed my life. It's changed my family's life, my kids' life, my parents. And my mom still sends me messages saying how proud she is of me, you know. I spent a long time on the opposite side of that fence until somebody taught me how to paint the fence. And now I get to help teach others how to paint that fence too, so they can hang out with their parents on the right side of the fence.
I'm going to ask Dan Hahn if he'll come up and honor us with giving the Tom Fellows Award.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Good evening, everybody. My name's Dan. I've been clean and sober since July 18th of 2007. I'm very honored to be asked to give the 2022 Tom Fellows Award. Those of us that have been in the room that have been around a while saw Missouri rise and fall. And I don't have the exact numbers. I think it went from somewhere around 76 houses down to 28. My early days in Oxford House, when I was a member in Kansas and alumni, we worked hard to try to help them. Did everything we could. Really struggled to get any traction. I became an employee and outreach worker in 2013, moved to Oklahoma, exhausted resources, tried to help, specifically Kansas City. Was with Judy in 2010, and we lost the last women's house in Springfield. On a personal level, Missouri's always been very near and dear to me. I wanted to see it come back. In the spring of 2016, myself and Jackson Longan were invited to a banquet in Kansas, and we attended the banquet. And we were really grateful to be there. We had a good time and talked to some people and decided it was time to go home. And we were walking out, and I hear these footsteps, Mr. Long and Mr. Hahn. We turned around, and a gentleman was standing there, and I'm not going to take away his message, but he told us about some struggles with his daughter and that they had attempted to find her sober living on the Missouri side of Kansas City, and specifically Oxford houses, and there were none to offer. We made contact, and I was excited just because he explained that he wanted to be a part of trying to change that. And it was nothing much more than that, but I was very inspired by it because I really wanted to see them succeed. And you fast forward, we start This is a story about people that can do a lot with very little and put forth great effort, fundraising by any means, and they've created a situation that's very unique to this organization. In 2017, I believe, 16 or 17, we started with a part-time outreach worker due to their tireless efforts. Shortly after that, we went to one full-time, and as we stand here today, are hoping to add a second that will help the entire state of Missouri. The effort that these folks, Robin and Nisa Elsie, if you would come up here, please, and accept this award. The state of Kansas City, Missouri has gone from 5 houses to 21 with over 200 beds. Oxford House Incorporated year 2022, the Tom Fellows Award presented to Robin and Nisa Elsie in recognition of their belief in the Oxford House program, strong support for the expansion of Oxford House, and in my words, putting Missouri back where it belongs.
Boy, those are bright lights. Kind of saw this coming when he said Missouri, I won't lie. But it's ironic. This is the first convention without Mr. Malloy. And in the spirit of the very first convention, 1999, if not us, then who? It kind of came down to that. Dan kind of told the story. We have a daughter who struggles long-term addiction. I myself, I am not in long-term recovery. I'm what you all call a normie. So because of that, I stand up here and look at 1,600 people that I have more respect for than you'll ever know. I get up every morning. All I have to do is figure out what my schedule looks like. You guys have to choose to be clean and sober, and you do it one day at a time, and I respect you. We just knew something needed to be done. We didn't even know what it really was at the time. Go ahead.
I rarely get to talk at these things because of this normie. I would like to just say that, in honor of Mr. Malloy, we saw a video yesterday, several clips of him, and over again, there's one word that we continued to hear about him, and it's visionary. And that's a word I often use to describe my husband. It is. He's that guy. He leads with passion, and he's always asking what's next for others. And I love him for it. When he asked me in 2016 to do this with him, and you got to know our lives are really, really crazy. Those of you in the room who know us, we have a lot going on. We're raising our grandchildren because of our daughter's addiction. We've adopted them. They are our children, and we've got a 3- and a 5-year-old. And so we're very, very busy people. But when he asked me to do this with him, I said, how in the world are we going to take this on? And he said, how can we not? I love you.
Just one last thing real quick. We're very honored and very blessed to be here to accept this. I'd be very remiss if I didn't state that we may have had the idea. We immediately then contacted 3 very dear friends of ours. Their names are Doug Ballou, Nancy Whitworth, and Michael Fox. The 5 of us are the original founders of In the Name of Grace. It wouldn't have happened without their passion. Our board has had some evolution over the years, but the 5 of us had stayed strong to the mission. So where are my friends from Missouri? Where are you guys, Kansas City folks in southern Missouri? We're very blessed that we have the greatest outreach worker in the entire country, Lance Whitney. Sorry, folks. He's what he did with very little, and he took a chance and left a full-time job for a part-time job because he cared about the city so much. He's done some amazing things. under the tutelage of Mr. Hahn over there, who somehow I know we're related, probably illegitimately. And then Mikey spawned out of Kansas City, and now he's making things happen in southern Missouri. So we've got two very strong chapters. We have a state association. We have alumni association in Missouri. Things are happening. They're moving across the state, and it will continue. So thank you all. Thank you.
Honored.
Who'd have ever known?
Wow, some impressive stuff happening out there. Very beautiful stuff. We're going to move into our recovery speaker for the evening. And as you can tell from the program, that things are people are doing different things than were in that program. But before we move on to that, I just want to mention that up here also is Judy Maxwell. And Judy Maxwell is a regional manager over Washington State. And you know, every awesome team in Washington State has an amazing team, has someone that helps guide and support them. And so I want to give a round of applause to Judy. Thank you. Now I'm going to bring James McClain, one of our board of directors, up here, and he is going to introduce our recovery speaker tonight.
Good evening, people. How are you? Let's give all the recipients of the awards previously a great, great big Oxford House welcome. Handshake. Sometimes you get to do things that you really like to do. You know, this you really like to do them. You know, you can't wait to get up here and do this. And I'm up here going to introduce a fellow that if you saw him in a crowd, you wouldn't know he was there. He wouldn't say a word unless you asked him to say something. I was in Portland, Oregon, and I had to stay a couple of days for my plane flight. He said, well, let's go look at the sightseeing. You hadn't been to sight, you hadn't seen anything in Oregon, Portland? He gets in the car, we drive all over Portland. He just takes me all over Portland, shows me the river, the mountains, the lakes, everything. I'm saying, come on, man, you need to go to work. He said, no, James, I gotta take care of you, you know. I was also in Portland one time, and they were gonna play softball. And he said, James, come on, go to the softball game with us. Come on, man. So I go to the softball game. He played softball. Now, if he was sitting right there and everybody was making noise, you would know he was there. So while I was traveling with this guy, the name came up to me, and his name is Easy Ed. That's what I named him. Because I don't care what's going on, it's so easy for Ed to do. He's just so easy. But I'm going to read you what we have written here on the program about Ed to tell you a little bit more about him than this. It says that Ed Smith is the regional manager for Oregon, Colorado, South Dakota, and California for Oxford House Incorporated, a nonprofit network of 3,300 international self-help recovery homes. Ed is responsible for the opening of over 60 houses. Wow. All throughout the state of Oregon. He is a man in long-term recovery who has been in recovery since 2003 and has worked with Oxford House since 2004. Ed is the recipient of the 2015 Oxford House Founders Award. In the Oxford House, Ed discovered the power of relation culture. Ed is an advocate for men and women in recovery. He has worked in several local and state organizations to remove the stigma of addiction and the ability for those who change their lives. Through his experience, Ed was able not only to sit on several committees involving multiple agencies and organizations, but he was also able to serve as a city councilor for a full term, effecting change in the community he lives in. Ed's focus in life is to teach others that they have the ability to change their lives and be part of the community. Ed continues to put as much energy into his recovery as he did into his addiction. You know, when he comes up here, I want you all to just think about it. Think about what it takes to become an outreach person. Think about all the trials and tribulations that you have to go through just to become an outreach person, what you have to do. Think about how hard it can be, but how easy Ed makes it. It's unbelievable. So I'm gonna walk off the stage and walk over and sit down. I'm gonna give you Ed Smith. Come on, Ed.
Thank you, James. Hello, everybody. My name is Ed. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and for me, what that means is I have not had to return to drug and alcohol use since October 2nd, 2003. You know, it's funny, everybody asks me, are you nervous? Are you nervous? And I've been saying all day, no. I gotta say, a little bit. I want to start off by saying thank you to Paul Malloy. Let's give Paul Malloy another round of applause. So there's some people I've spoken other places, and Dan Hahn and Thomas Floyd asked if I wanted the stage cleared because I like to pace. So I have a little fidget in my pocket, and I'll put it here so that I can at least fidget. So, again, I grew up in Portland, Oregon. Oregon. Raised in a middle-class family. I was the youngest child of 3. Boring. I can say that all my life my parents were together my entire life. Both my sisters are normies, and we lived a pretty good life. When I was 5 years old, I came down with a sickness that put me in the hospital for about 2 months. They never figured out what it was. The only thing they knew is that my entire right side of my body was paralyzed. So I had to regain a lot of things in my life, which always to me kind of made me different. It made me, it made me stand away from you. It made me kind of a mark. Didn't like that feeling. I battled that feeling from the age of 5 years old up until the age of 8. About the time I was 8 years old, again, lived in a normal middle-class family, nothing really exciting going on. But about the age of 8 years old, we had a gentleman, I called him Uncle Steve, moved into a big giant shop that is behind our house. And I was fascinated, absolutely fascinated by Uncle Steve. Now, I didn't have many friends because I separated myself so much from people because I thought I was different. When Steve came, he came on this motorcycle. He was cool, he was funny, he was always laughing, he was full of energy. Everybody loved him. All the guys that came over to see him all the time loved him as well. But there was always that separation, right? So he lived in the shop behind, I lived in the house in front, and there was not to be any mixing. Anyway, as an 8-year-old kid does, we get bored and get curious. One early evening, I was walking around, parents were gone. I was going to see what he was doing. Well, he wasn't there. I'd heard his motorcycle go off. But I can see all these bright lights going through every crack of window, anything in this shop, and I'm fascinated. Finally, I get the gall up to go and sneak in the side kind of opening that I know is there. And I'm blinded when I open the door. I'm blinded by a light much like this. And I can smell this aroma. And so I creep in, and all of a sudden my feet are sticking to this plastic crinkle. And I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, what is this? I can see all these, what I'm thinking in my head, palm trees everywhere. It's beautiful. It's so warm. No wonder Uncle Steve loves it in here. So I go out because I knew I wasn't supposed to be in there. Anyway, the next day, Uncle Steve, I could hear his motorcycle come. My parents left. So I went out and asked him, it's so beautiful in the shop. No wonder you stay here all the time. What are you doing? And as he's lighting up a joint, I said, oh, you smoke too. So does my mom. He goes, yep. Anyway, it was harvest season. He says, I have work to do, but I'm 8 years old. I'm not taking no for an answer. So he goes, I'll tell you what. See these little scissors? Follow me. So I go in the shop. He's taking these big things off. I'm trimming all these little marijuana trimming, and I'm really good at it. And I'm getting paid money to hang out with Uncle Steve, who I think is amazing anyway. So time goes by. I'm out there with now his friends. You know, we're doing things. Eventually, they're handing me, you know, at 8 years old, they're handing me marijuana, which I'm smoking. And I feel that instant normalcy. Life is okay. This is the first time since I was 5 years old that I felt that I was equal to you. In fact, sometimes I felt that I was better than you. So that time ended, and I was still looking to make more money. I was making so much money. And I asked him, well, and he says, well, we don't have anything else to do. Would you like to do something else? And I said, sure. So he goes, okay, well, there's a market about a mile from the house. And he says, so what I need you to do is there will be a blue van up at the market. I need you to take this package and meet them, and they'll pick it up from you. And when you come back, we'll give you some money. So I did that. I got on my Schwinn banana seat, you know, bike, rode up there, delivered the package. I was really good at that. And everybody was so happy to see me. I love that feeling. Anyway, that went on and that went on. Eventually, Uncle Steve left. I remember that feeling of loss, that feeling of hopelessness, and so I found the marijuana other ways. When I was 12 years old, I remember hearing the sound of that motorcycle coming back. And I remember thinking, thank you, God. So Uncle Steve comes back. There's a long conversation out and back with my dad. There's mumbling and arguing. And anyway, Uncle Steve ends up staying. So once again, my hero is home. This time, though, there's a lot more friends coming at all hours of the night. This time, not only am I not allowed back there, but it is forbidden. This time, Uncle Steve doesn't look so happy. But I really felt connected to Uncle Steve. So I go out, after he'd been there for a week, I go out, he's not there. I sneak in the same side door again. There's no wonderful lights. There's no palm trees. Instead, there's this smell. This smell of, well, we know what it is, methamphetamine. 12 years old. I see what I think is dust all over the counters and and rocks and cool crystals, I thought. So I waited for him to come home. My parents were gone for a while that time. I waited for him to come home, and I asked him what this was, and he said, "This will make you feel like you never have felt before." So at 12 years old, Uncle Steve crushes up a line, and I'm doing methamphetamine with my uncle. It goes right into, do you want to make some money? Expectation. I said, well, yes, I do. So again, the same things start happening. By the time I'm 14 years old, 15 years old, I'm driving to Southern California. I'm driving out to Idaho. I'm delivering packages to compounds, seeing things that I should never see. I went on a trip one time down to Southern California, and I was so excited because the prior trip I had gotten robbed before entering the compound. And I did another trip, and I came back, and I was so excited to tell him that I'd done it. I'd done it. I came back with the biggest bag that I'd ever come back with. So I come back, and I get there, and his bike's there, and as I was coming down the street, all these bikes are going the other way. So I go in the shop. The shop door's wide open. I go in, beer bottles, things everywhere. And I go in, and I'm going in, and I say, Uncle Steve. And I come around the corner, and Uncle Steve is laying on the ground in a pool of blood. The funny thing is at that point, I didn't care about Uncle Steve. At that point, my drugs, my happiness, my life was gone. That set into motion something in my head that changed me. I mean, not that I wasn't already doing crimes, but at this point I was doing everything I could to get over on people to make sure that I had the fuel to feed my addiction. This went on for years and years. How I avoided as much as I did and getting in trouble with the law still astounds me. I'll just say the one crime that I did get caught for and served, for an 18-month probation, served about, I don't even know how many years, was identity theft. I'm a terrible criminal. I stole my girlfriend at the time's mother's credit card, activated it, went to the store, bought something for $100, and got caught immediately. Funny story behind that is that woman is now a landlord of an Oxford house. So as I said, I got in trouble. I had an 18-month probation. Things, you know how we do. We 18 months turns into years. On the last time I was caught, I was absconding. I was at my parents' house. I had broken in. They knew I was there. They were out on vacation. The policeman came to the door, opened the door, and it was a friend from growing up that was a police officer. And I opened the door, and he said, Ed, I think you know why I'm here. And he says, you need to come with me. Now, he allowed me to, because we knew each other, smoke some cigarettes, eat something, I was ready to take a shower, but he let me take my time. And he said to me at that point, there's a lot of people in this world that love you no matter what. Just do the right thing. So when I got caught and went into jail, I had to serve the time, right? I served 9 months. I had 1 week left of jail time, and I would have been off of probation. Treatment counselor from a program called CSAP, which is an in-house drug and alcohol program, came and had my name called, and I went up and he said, Mr. Smith, and I'd been through the program before, and he said, Mr. Smith, you know, we'd like to give you another opportunity. Would you like it? And something in me said, yeah, I'm done. So he comes back and he says, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that I offer this to you. We can't do this for you. This is a 9-month program. And you're going to be you're going to be out of here in like 6 days. I said, okay. Which gave me time to make plans. So 2 days go by and he comes back and he says, I have good news for you. I was able to extend your probation by 18 months. I went back to the cell, and you know how it goes. They're like, what the hell are you doing? But I was grateful. I went through the CSAP program, looked at myself. It was an intensive treatment program. Got time to look at myself, and it was time to go. Well, at that time, with CSAP, the only way that you could get out was to live in a recovery home. Well, the only recovery homes back then were Oxford House. Well, in conversation with several people, and I'd actually lived in Oxford House for a day one other time. I knew that there was an interview process. Again, I had 5 days left before I was going to be out. So I did as they said. I went and did interviews. I practiced. I interviewed at 3 houses. 3 houses. Award-winning interviews. Because I was not going to get voted in. I had a plan. They didn't vote me in. So I go back to the center, get on the bus, go back to the center, and I'd report back to them, they didn't vote me in. I don't know. So it comes down to, it's a Thursday night. It's my last interview before I'm getting released, possibly on Saturday. They found one more vacancy, and I went to go to the Glencoe Oxford House in Milwaukee, Oregon. And at this point, I put it on. I was definitely not getting into this house. So I do my act. I go back to the center. I'm ready to say, they said they'll call me and let me know. So I get back to the center, and they say, Smith, we have good news for you. The Glencoe house called, and you're moving in Saturday. So I'd been in jail and then the treatment program for a total of about 17 months. And I know that, or no, 6, anyway, times are off. So I go to the Glencoe house, I move in on a Saturday. And when I move in, I have nothing but a bag of clothes, because I went in a meth addict and I came out, plump and happy, right? So I move into the house. It's Saturday morning. College football is on. All the guys are downstairs. Every guy in the house was downstairs yelling at the TV, laughing, having fun. And I just want to go to my room. They showed me where my room is. I go up the stairs. I shut my door. Oh, I handed them my money order. They got a receipt, showed me where my room was. I went upstairs. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, 3 months. 3 months and I'm out of here. So I'm in the room. It's been about probably 5-10 minutes, and on the door. I say, yeah. This guy, W, says, what are you doing? I said, well, I paid my money. I'm in my room, and I'm just going to sit here and unpack my stuff. And he laughed. I could hear him talking to the guys downstairs. He had like a small bag. They're all laughing. 5 minutes goes by. Ed, what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting in my room. I paid my rent. Leave me alone. Okay. Another 5 minutes goes by. Hey, Ed, it's W. Really? Hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Would you like to go? I'm thinking, you know what? I need food. I'm too lazy to walk. I don't want to carry it. So I said yes. And he goes, all right, we're leaving in 10 minutes. So I go downstairs, get in the car, go with W to the store. And he goes, okay, well, you go in, we'll both go in, we'll meet here in a half an hour. Now, I paid with my money order, you know, whatever the move-in fee and the rent was. I think it was about $450 altogether. Oregon does things a little bit different. Sorry, guys. I had $25 left to my name. I was a smoker, so that came first. So I had just under $17 left to my name. So I go in the store, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't get paid for 2 more weeks. This has got to last. So I go in the store, and I'm like, okay. So I get 3 boxes of top ramen, 2 bags of frozen vegetables, and as much lunch meat as I could afford. Go up to the checkout, get my stuff. I'm in and out in like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I'm waiting out there with my box of food. Eventually, W comes out, and his laugh is unforgettable, and I wish I could mimic it, but he's laughing. And I said, what? And he goes, you been out here for a while? I said, yeah. So we get in the car. So we get in the car, you know, I did help him with his bags. We get in the car, we get back to the house, and he unloads his stuff. Everybody is still in the living room of this house, laughing, carrying on, having a good time. So anyway, I go to put my stuff away. Now, I don't know how your guys' houses are, but the newcomer doesn't have the most ideal spot in the cupboard. This cupboard was really high up, right? And so I put my vegetables in the freezer and put my lunch meat away, and I go and I'm stacking everything in my cupboard: chicken, beef, pork, chicken, beef, pork, chicken, beef, pork, chicken. You know, because you don't want it to be boring, right? As I'm doing this, I hear laughing behind me of more than just W. And so I turn around. There's 3 guys standing there. And they're all looking at me and just staring at me and laughing a little bit. And I said, that is my top ramen. Don't touch my top ramen, because that's all I have. And they said, oh, we won't. So I went upstairs. I get upstairs, and I'm sitting there for, again, 5 minutes. Hey, Ed, it's W. Really? So we're having an emergency house meeting. And I'm thinking, the meetings are on Thursday. I've been here for maybe 3.5 hours. What the heck could happen? I said, well, I'm busy. No, you're not. You need to come to this meeting. So I come out hesitantly. I come out the door, go down the stairs. They're laughing and carrying on. And as I hit the landing, it goes silent. Football goes off. And I'm thinking, oh, shit. So I round the corner. All the men are sitting down on the couches. They had like 3 couches at that time and a couple office chairs. They're sitting there, and I come and I sit and I stand on the wall. They said, have a seat. So I sat. They said, you know, we noticed that all you got was top ramen and some vegetables. We're going grocery shopping. I said, no, that's all right. I don't have any money left. I'm good for 2 weeks. 3 other guys stood up and they said, you're going grocery shopping with us. Yeah. So W gets his keys. It's me, W. It actually turned out to be 5 of us. W's got a little tiny, I don't even know what your Toyota Corolla. These big biker guys, which of course I'm in a house of bikers, right? So we get in the car, I'm wedged in the back between them. We go to the store, grab a cart. We're walking through. They're laughing. You know, they know no strangers. They're talking to everybody, and you know we're going grocery shopping. So I'm pushing through the aisles and through the aisles and through the aisles, and eventually they grabbed the cart, and they said, "Stop. Stop. You're going grocery shopping." So they reversed the cart back up. I'm pushing the cart through. These 4 other men are throwing things in my cart and throwing things in my cart. And eventually, when we get to the checkout line, the grocery cart, I don't think I've ever to this day gone this big a grocery shopping, but it's just piled with groceries. So we go to the checkout line. You know, they're laughing and talking to the checker, and I'm just sitting there watching the total go up and up and up. It reaches, you know, about $300, and I'm thinking, shit. So they grab all the stuff. You know, they're laughing, poking me, you know, trying to get me to talk. And I'm still wanting nothing to do with them. So we go back to the house. I unload all my stuff as quickly as I can, not looking any of them in the eyes, and I run back up to my room. So I open my door to my room. In the Glencoe house, it's very obvious which room is the new person's room, but I run up to my room and I open the door, and on the bed are some new pants, new shirt, new boots, and I'm like, I'm looking at the doors. I'm like, oh, this is my room. So I open the door and I close it really quick, hoping they don't notice that, you know, that I found it. I sit there for a second and I hit my knees. I hit my knees. I hit my knees because I thought, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? After that thought, though, you know, overwhelming feeling of, I guess I couldn't explain it at that time, what that feeling was. Ed, we're having a meeting. Oh, it's W. So again, they're all laughing downstairs. I go down the stairs, and when I hit that landing, it's quiet again. I go around the corner. They're not smiling this time. They're all looking at me seriously. And I said, why are we having another meeting? Meetings aren't till Thursday, and I just want to sleep. Well, and they just kept being quiet and looking at me and started smiling. I said, look, I told you at my interview, I've never been to prison, but I know what's going on here. And I don't want anything to do with it. Come get your clothes, take all the groceries, and leave me alone. That was exactly their reaction. So we sat there quietly for a while. And the men in that house looked at me and said, look, the only thing that we expect from you is that you do this for the next man that walks through that door. Very quickly, the wall went down. I realized that for the first time in my life, I had men around me, friendship without expectation. You imagine, you know what that feels like? We all feel that every day. Friendships without expectation. Well, that catapulted me. I started going to meetings every day of the week. Wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, get on the bus at 5, go to work, get off work, get back on the bus, get home at 4:30, throw something in my belly, go out the door, go on a bus, go to a meeting, rinse and repeat. What I did was I followed those men. I followed the path that was laid down before me. I was given an opportunity to step up as a chapter officer. Well, let me rephrase that. I went to a chapter meeting. And I went to the bathroom during elections. I came back and I was the Housing Services Chair. I accepted, and what I found out at that point was that I had this great opportunity to serve not only the men in my house, but I could help men in other houses. I could open houses for more people to experience this feeling that I felt. And I went to a state meeting, and they asked for somebody to run for the state housing services chair, and I raised my hand. Because that's what we do. After about probably just a few months, I was stolen by outreach. I had the opportunity to work for Oxford House in Oregon, where there was 2 of us. This will age me a little bit. We had little slide flip-up phones and a Rand McNally. I did have a laptop, though. I was told we just signed a lease on a house in Southern Oregon, and we need you to move there and be there tomorrow. So I went. That just led to the next house and the next house and the next house. This feeling that we get to serve others is irreplaceable. What I got from Oxford House was, and the men that lived there and that came before me was, not only the ability to serve, but I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a friend. I'm a husband to my beautiful wife. This life that we lead, this life of service, is almost addicting. It's a new drug at times. I did take a hiatus for a couple years, but Oxford House kept calling. Matter of fact, Kathleen kept calling. And Judy, Mama Judy. I love this organization. I lost my mom about 2 months ago. She was a fan. When we were with her in the hospice, and we all got our moments, she'd say, I love that you've turned around. But shouldn't you be in a meeting? I owe it to the men in that house. I owe it to the people that have come before me. I owe it to Paul Malloy. This life we have today, this life that I have today is irreplaceable. I thank you, I love you, and I leave you with one thing. Please look after the person to the left of you, and look after the person to the right of you. Love you all.
Let's give Ed one more round of applause. I'm going to turn this over to Jackson now.
Wow, what a night. Have you guys had a good time? The night ain't over yet. We do ask everybody to please take the survey. I think everybody was sent a message if you have the convention app. If you need some help with that, we'll have some staff that can help you tonight or first thing in the morning. If you have to leave early in the morning tomorrow to catch a flight, I know that a lot of people do. You probably want to add a little bit of time. I know there's some construction, some lane closures on I-5 that is probably going to delay your travel to the airport. So give yourself plenty of time to get to the airport. It's better to be early and relax at the terminal than it is to try to rush through everything. So be mindful of that. The raffle, again, is going to be in here. It's going to, the raffle, the raffle is going to be in here. Can we do 10 after to give everybody time to freshen up? 15 after? 9:15, be back in here with your tickets. 10 p.m., the dance starts down in Walapa, which was breakout number 5. There's a dance and the raffle tonight. And the raffle in here, the dance down in Walapa. Enjoy the rest of your evening.